in 80 trains. Introduction. As with several of my railway histories, Railways and the Raj is an attempt to set out a complex story in a clear and simple way, which few other authors have attempted. There are surprisingly few books about Indian railway history, and none have covered the story of their creation, their influence, and their enduring legacy in one volume. Railways and the Raj is consequently an overview of a railway system that merits far more study and analysis than it receives. I've tried to touch on all the major events and the various ways in which the railway has been important for the subcontinent, but, inevitably, much has been left out. India is a vast nation, and it has seen huge political transformation since the advent of the railways, changing from a country controlled by a company to being Britain's most important colony and eventually an independent state. In the process, India has lost parts of its territory, which left me with something of a dilemma over what to include and what to leave out. My compromise has been to include the story of railways now in Pakistan and Bangladesh, while they were part of India, but to mention them only briefly in the sections about post-independence India. I have offered brief explanations of general historical background because the story of the railways is so strongly intertwined with the history of the country. Indeed, while railways played a key part in the history of nations covered by my other books, such as those on American railroads or Trans-Siberian, few people could challenge the notion that India is the nation where the railways have been most influential in historical terms. But after being so bound up with India for more than a year during the course of writing this book, I may be biased. Many place names have officially changed since independence. However, I have used the contemporary version throughout the book in order to fit in with the events being described. Therefore, for events up to independence, old versions of names are used, while new ones are only used after the change had been made, which happened at different times for various places. For example, Bombay is referred to until the book reaches the mid-1990s, when its name was changed to Mumbai, which it is called thereafter, and that is reflected in the index. Some names have been changed merely to reflect the use of Indian English, or sometimes to reflect the local language, and in these cases the more modern spelling has usually been used everywhere in the book. When states are referred to, the modern names have been used throughout, because they have been added to help the reader locate the town or city on a modern map. Therefore, Karnataka is used rather than Mysore, and Tamil Nadu rather than Madras state. This process is still taking place. For example, the state of Odisha has been known as Orissa only since 2011. Apologies for any inconsistencies. Muslims were largely known as Mohammedans in the 19th century, and again there were numerous possible spellings. There are a few linguistic and cultural oddities too. India uses two numerical terms that are unique to the subcontinent. A lakh is 100,000 and a crore 10 million. Consequently, million is rarely used. The currency is now just rupees, which presently hover around 90 to the pound, and there are 100 paise to the rupee. Under the British, there was a complex system of rupees, divided into 4 annas, which were further divided into 12 pies, or sometimes 4 paisa, not to be confused with the present paisa, since there were 64 pies in a rupee, rather than as present 100. As a result, there were 192 pies in a rupee until India decimalized in 1957. Another possible area of confusion is over who ran India. In the 19th century, India was ruled by a Governor-General, appointed by the British government. But the title became Viceroy and Governor-General from 1858, usually shortened to Viceroy. The structure of the book is largely chronological, though when a few themes are covered, there is inevitably a bit of jumping about. Railways and the Raj is something of a primer, which I hope will inspire readers to travel on Indian trains. That is...
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.